Good morning ladies and gents, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me for today's video. I hope you're all well. First off guys, my sincere apologies for my absence the last couple of weeks. For the last 6 weeks I've been battling the bug from hell. I don't know what it was, but it has totally incapacitated me. You can probably still hear it on my chest, but it got to the point where I literally could not breathe even to get up the stairs. So that is the reason I've not been in front of the camera, but I'm feeling well enough now, so let's crack on with today's video. Right boys and girls, in today's video I would like to speak to you about lightweight, compact, folding wood stoves. And in recent years there have been a plethora of these types of stoves come to the market, but in my mind there's only ever been two contenders at the forefront, and that is the American made Firebox, and my personal favourite, and the one I've used for many years now, is the German made Bushbox XL. Now the thing that separates these stoves from the rest, in my opinion, is their ability to fold down flat, as you can see, on a hinged system, as opposed to the stoves you get in pieces and you've got to build yourself. Your hands get all mucky. I'm not a fan of that. So I've been the proud owner of the Bushbox XL for 9 or 10 years now, and it has served me well, never let me down. The only downside to this stove is it is a beast. When you've got the optional grill plates and the trivets, this can weigh in at around 950 grams, so it is a heavy tank, but again, it's bomb proof, it will never let you down. But Christmas has been, and Father Christmas paid me a visit, but he's not getting the credit for this one actually. My missus treated me at Christmas, and she must have been in my Amazon wish list, and she's seen the titanium version of my favourite stove, so she's picked this up for me, and today we are going to compare the both, see what the weight differences are. And that's pretty much between them, so let's crack on. Right guys, to start off with the comparison, I think we'll do a good old weigh-in. As you can see, I brought the Weight Watchers kitchen scales out with me today. So I'm going to do the weigh-in without any of the optional grill plates. You can just add that weight onto each stove at the end. So first of all, we will go with the stainless steel version, and this has just got the 2 trivets in, and the stove itself in the canvas pack you'd normally get it in. So just turn the scales on first, might help. Right, so we've got a 0 there, and that stove comes in at 839 grams, 840 grams, it's just clipped over. I don't know if you can see that. So 840 for the stainless, and the new titanium, we'll leave it on there, it's not going to add any weight. And the titanium one comes in at bang on 600 grams. So 240 gram difference between the stainless steel and the titanium. They are not worlds apart, quite honestly. Surprising. There we have it ladies and gents. So we've got a weight of 600 on the titanium and a weight of 840 on the stainless steel, which in my honest, humble opinion, isn't a massive weight reduction when you consider the price as well. The price of the titanium version, I think the missus did pick, she could only find it 170 quid. 170 quid, and this one can be picked up from as little as 97 quid. I've seen it actually as low as £70 in the UK, so that is a massive, that's more than double the price for 240 gram saving. I'll leave that to you to decide. But no matter which one you go for, they're absolute bomb-proof stoves. And I did measure the optional grill plates as well. So on the smaller one here, you do get this with the Bushbox XL stove when you buy the combination kit, I think, and you receive this, and this is 80 grams. This was bought optional by me. This is a larger one, so you can have a pot and a burger on there or whatever you want to do, and this comes in at 130 grams. So you can add that weight on top of the stove weight. Dimensions between the two are exactly the same size. I will put the dimensions up on the screen. I can't remember what the manufacturer specs are, but it doesn't matter with the weight because you've seen that done at the camp, so that does not matter at all. So the thing I said sets these stoves apart, and I just love it, it is quite magical, is the way these stoves just fold out and they're ready to use within seconds. So I'll do it with the new one because it has got no warping. The other one has suffered a tiny bit of warping, which I'll show you in a minute. But you can see just how flat these stoves fold away, and it's a matter of, and that's your stove built. No mucky fingers because it's new obviously, but you get the idea. You're not slotting these plates over each other and having to manhandle the stove. It is there for quick deployment, and it is awesome. Oh, that's new. So we have got the tie imprinted into it, which defines that as titanium. So it does feel a little lighter when you took it out of the case and you're actually holding it. Pardon the sniffles, guys. So as you can see, this is the stainless steel version, and we'll put these side by side so you can see how flat each one is. So I think the titanium one actually does fold a little flatter than the stainless steel, as you can see there. And after 9 or 10 years of use, I've seen videos of these and people do ask what the warping is like. So on the stainless steel you can see that is the extent of the warping, which is nothing really. It has never got worse than that, and it doesn't inhibit the stove in any way. That is merely cosmetic, and it still folds out just as well. There you go, ready to go. Has a lovely patina on there. Get them both side by side. And there you go, guys. So as you can see, size absolutely the same. The only difference is material. And you get the same 2 trivets on the back here. As you can see, this hasn't been used. There was a few people saying that the trivets you get with the titanium stove were stainless, which would be a bit disheartening, but what we can do actually is weigh the trivets to see if there's any difference in them. I am a little upset. That is going to mess with my OCD somewhat. These both weigh exactly 32 grams, which tells me they have indeed used stainless trivets with the titanium stove, which is a bit of a cop out if you ask me. That's at least £12.75 they've nicked off me. So yeah, both weigh 32 grams, so I think they both are stainless, which is a shame, but I'm not sure how a titanium version of that would warp. Yeah, definitely both stainless, which is a shame, but what we'll do now, we'll get the stove going and get a brew on, because we've just had some snow here and it's bloody cold, and I need a brew, so let's crack on. Now if you're not familiar with the Bushbox, let me quickly explain how we use the trivets. So situated around the box, you'll find slits in various positions, and these are opposite on both sides. We can use these to first of all rest a pot on top, like so. So for your smaller pots that would normally fall into the stove, like your cups and your mugs, you can now safely put that on there to boil your water. We can also position these inside the stove, like so. And if you are an avid user of the alcohol stove like me, that will give you the ability to position that alcohol stove inside, creating a nice windscreen, and it will still give you that sweet spot between the stove and the cup. So very handy indeed. The trivets can also be used to great effect for moving the stove if you so desire, and that is accomplished simply by using the deepest of the notches, and you can put that just under the fuel window, and that can be moved safely to another position. In these stoves lit and running is it's a breeze really. In fact, that's all you need, a breeze. So we're going to use these scented fire discs that my missus lovingly makes me. Just going to crack a couple of these and then introduce a spark. So, well guys, some news. Stay tuned to the channel because I have a very nice custom knife coming to the channel very soon to show you guys. It has been very generously made for me from scratch by a gentleman down in Manchester. So I will be showcasing the knife in the next couple of weeks on the channel, and down the road we will be visiting his workshop to check out the step-by-step on how he creates his knives, and they are made from scratch, so I look forward to that. So we need a couple of nice thin twigs, some nice dry standing twigs from the trees, and we'll just stack these in and around and get the other one going in a second. And again, these stoves are pretty efficient. They will continue to burn with very little maintenance. I've had this, I've had the stainless one running for hours, basically just scraping out the bottom ashtray, as long as you keep it fed, which isn't very often, and you put good chunks of wood in there, it will keep burning. So, fantastic stoves. So, I brought a couple of brew your own coffees out today guys, and I've had these in the past and they're absolutely phenomenal, fantastic coffees. Each one has a very individual taste, and these are from the Brew Company. Basically just pour your boiling water inside, let it brew. You have a gradation mark here for less equals strong, medium and mild. I prefer a mild, it fills my cup. Today we have got the Ethiopian blend and the Colombian blend, so I'm going to enjoy these. Trivets on, hot water away. Right guys and girls, I'm going to pour my delicious coffee, and I'm going to have a short discuss on the pros and cons of the materials used in the construction of both stoves. It's just an awesome coffee guys. Right ladies and gents, so start with the pros of titanium first. Straight off the bat, titanium's a lot lighter, it's a lighter material. It's as strong, if not stronger, than stainless steel. Doesn't rust. Cools down a lot faster than stainless steel. Cons: it's expensive to buy and it's expensive to manufacture. So the pros of stainless steel. First off, it is an extremely robust material, very hard wearing, that'll last you an age. It is highly rust resistant. It is cheap to buy and it is cheap to manufacture. The major cons with stainless steel, it is heavy, very heavy. But again, with that weight comes that robustness, so it's kind of a catch-22 there. That is pretty much the only downside with stainless steel, the weight. But you've got to ask yourselves, 250 grams, is that really enough to justify the price of the titanium version of this stove? On this side you've got 170 quid. I think one of the viewers, Carl from Hazard Outdoors, was very lucky, and I think he found one, the XL, for 100 quid I believe, so very lucky. I never get that such luck. But the stainless steel one can be had for around 70 quid, up to 140 quid I've seen that for. So you can get that a lot cheaper than the titanium. But for 250 grams, what does that equate to? 250 grams, a small tin of soup, a hardback book, a small bottle of fuel. Is the titanium version of this stove worth your money? Honestly and on heart, I would say if you already own the Bushbox in stainless steel, I'd put your money elsewhere. You're going to get no benefits whatsoever owning the titanium stove, apart from you've got a nice shiny piece of titanium gear. The performance is the exact same. The only thing being is the weight. If you're not asked about the weight, then keep hold of your stainless and go buy a nice pot to go with your cooker. Is it worth your money if you don't already own the Bushbox XL? I would say if you are a aficionado of, if you like your titanium gear, I'd say crack on, go for it if money's no issue. I say it is going to be double the price of this one, but if you do like your titanium gear, crack on. But I would hunt around, maybe in the sales or something, and try and find it a lot cheaper than what my missus got it for. But all in all, it's a weight saving of 250 grams. And suppose when you start adding your optional grills, custom storage options, which we'll go into in a future video, the weight is still getting up there, and it's still a saving of 250 grams. So that's totally down to you. I'll be using the titanium one in the future, because it obviously was gifted from the missus, so that will take place of the stainless steel. If I can sell that in the future, I probably will do. There's no point in having two. I don't collect gear, but it will be relinquished to the shelf now, and I'll be using the titanium one. Right, my fine friends, so I'm currently off work now for 2 weeks, so fingers crossed there should be a couple of wild camps coming to the channel. Also, we have the knife coming. That is an absolutely beautiful piece of gear that has been created just for me, to my specification. So thank you very much to Graham from Manchester. That'll be coming to the channel soon, so stay tuned for that also. Next video will probably be looking at the storage options for the Bushbox stoves. I have currently got one on order, and I also own a lovely piece of leather that adorns these stoves, so stay tuned for that also. Until then guys, it has been absolutely fantastic having you, as always. Until the next one, you stay safe, and as always, stay crafty. See you again guys, bye bye.